Welcome to the Beard of Summer Town Hall. We got all this lovely family here. We just played Sister Sledge's We Are Family, and I was putting out there to the group as we moved to that song together. Does the word family mean anything to you when we talk about this connection as medicine idea and who we are as a community? Who's got a thought on that? The word family, does that have any special meaning to you? Yeah, Karen, please.
My brothers and sisters, all here. We are together. And yeah, we've made a lot of memories with this song in the last 3 years. So yay. This is a family too. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's families, of blood, and then there's families of choice, and it really makes a difference. And I appreciate you seeing that. Anybody else, the feeling of the family, what it means to you in perhaps the community you've built? I see Susan, yes.
Oh man. So one of our members just somehow or another didn't ever hear about this. And I just learned about him not hearing about it 10 seconds ago. And I sent him like four different ways to find us, and he just found us. And that feels so good to me to care that much about somebody I didn't know a few years ago, knock myself out from family.
Right.
I
Feeling
appreciate
love in a
that.
family dose.
Yeah, family comes in a lot of directions in unexpected ways, and it means a lot. And I want to keep that theme going as we explore the boys of summer and the beard of summer and the silliness we're doing. Humor is a big part of this. Let's go ahead and dive further into the hair, if we so boldly wish to. The beard of summer and what it means. It's a ridiculous beard. We've talked about that, and I want to be very clear about this. Yes, ridiculous beard, serious purpose, however. Underneath what we're doing here, there's more. We're trying to build cinema therapy scholarships. We're going to talk later about what cinema therapy is. It's one of the two main offerings of our nonprofit, Yes and X. Yes and is the acceptance of the offer and what we're going to do with it. X is the unknown. There's a lot of unknown in Parkinson's, and we're trying to squarely land in that place and say, guess what? This is a place where we can safely and bravely explore the unknown together as a family. And cinema therapy is one of the ways we do that. We bring people together around Parkinson's, but we're not Parkinson's. It's so much more than that. We, by becoming a family and spending time together, actually can strip away the Parkinson stuff. It's not like we sit around and just talk about symptoms and or problems. And God love the people who do that. If that's a support group where people need that, that's wonderful. It's not who we are or what we do. We are looking at an expansive way of life, not a contracting view of life. And we really want people to lean into that, to see there's more than maybe what they're considering, or more than what they've been told, or more than what they're feeling, because the emotional, psychosocial side of this disease is really, it's crushing. And we're going to have fun. We're really unapologetically going to laugh. We're going to play. We're going to say, guess what? Not only can we, but we need to lean into this space. So that's who and what we are and why we do it. And we believe that connection is medicine. You've probably heard exercise is medicine. We're very fortunate in this group that about 20 years ago, some research started that really pushed that into the truth of Parkinson's. And we have one of my favorite representatives slash friends here in Wendy Palmer, who leads these exercise groups and is one of the people who does that. Russ is here, Parker, who's also a leader in that regard, that we know that exercise truly is the only disease modifying intervention we have. Lovely, the pills are great, the surgery is great. God bless the people that are continuing to do that. But exercise actually modifies the both the daily severity and the longitudinal aspect of it. Now, here's the next part of that, and what we're going into today: connection, meaning how we connect to ourselves, how we connect to others, and how we connect to a larger purpose and sense of being. That is medicine too. The same way that exercise is medicine, connection on those three domains is medicinal too. And we're still trying to push that out to make sure people understand that. And we present that as such. So let's go forward. This started with a father and son. There's me and dad back in 2004 on the original trip, the original Boys of Summer, which you can see at our website, bosmovie.com. The first two films are available. Back then, dad was early onset. He was just turned 60 years old. He had been diagnosed 3 years prior. We 2 months, 20,000 miles. We're heading out on this journey, and here's basically the beginning of where we were.
Say right now I'm overwhelmed, and you know, if you'd have seen the scene trying to set up this simple shot a moment ago, you'd really understand that.
And we're fading
Yeah.
like the light.
I know.
Well, my hope is that you're able to clear your mind and clear your path so that you can enjoy the process.
Are we all the way ready? No. Do we have all the money we need? No. But it's time.
My one real concern is that you got an awful lot to do and coordinate. And that's not too big a burden.
People are waiting for us, and it's time to have faith, and it's time to trust that what we're doing is going to work.
Hopefully, this would be for the common good. I mean, the idea is to try to develop awareness among the population for Parkinson's. We got a lot of people supporting us. So both people that we know and people that we don't know yet. I guess we know them all. We haven't met them yet. That's the right term, isn't it? Faith means I believe that I have what it takes to get the job done. And I think that whatever we need will be provided one way or another. We're jumping. We have jumped. So I may not be the same person when this is over as I am when I started. We'll see.
That last line there is such a killer to me. I may not be the same person as when I started. And it's just absolutely 100% true. None of us are the same people. I mean, you saw me without the beard, by the way, in case you're wondering what that looks like. Also 22 years younger. But, that change is inevitable. That change is going to happen. The question becomes, what are we going to do with the time we're given? What change are we going to insist on, and what is going to be insisted upon us, right? So this is where we try to really drive agency. We really try to drive what, the individual can do, and the individual is within the family. That's where connection is medicine. That's how we get better. And that's how we started back then with the original Boys of Summer. So again, we didn't know what was going to happen. We were told at the time there'd be a cure within 10 years. And boy, that sounded pretty good. As we know, unfortunately, that didn't happen. So the journey continued, and it opened up doorways that neither of us ever expected. You can see the pathway here in the 4 films that we have taken over the course of 22 years, right? Ostensibly first base in 2004. 2014, we take on the second film. Now there's my kids, the grandkids are involved. And, my dad realizes that a cure is probably not going to come in his lifetime. Then 6 years later, I've developed realizing I'm a care partner, and my dad's going to need more from me than I thought he did. So I go back for a PhD to figure out how I can learn and understand and support more of what's going on. Meanwhile, dad really wants to be the best grandfather he can as long as he can. And so we go on more of these journeys together and explore the community and understand more of what's possible for us, to where now the 4th film, which just came out in May, the first premiere of it, Third Base. Now we get to see how life has changed, and things like, as you can see, my dad in a running chair, participating in a couple of runs that he thought he never would. His running days were past him, but with this running chair, something became possible. And how about, instead of throwing out a first pitch, receiving a first pitch from your grandson on the field there with the Oakland A's when they were still in Oakland, or maybe a return to the field of dreams where we were, 20 years prior. And what does it feel like? And a miraculous step onto the field for a guy who still wanted to take swings with the bat, but maybe was being told or thought he couldn't. This is all the things that happen, the changes, the surprises, the ups, the downs. We are family. Again, the story keeps changing. The connection keeps growing. And everybody involved, and that includes everyone here today, you're part of the story. And I'm very happy to include, as part of the story, Jon and Jonathan, because here are a couple of guys, 3 of them here, that I got wind of thanks to Wendy Palmer, about them coming to see Shortstop. And well, let's let them tell the story in this little video here.
I was privileged enough to see the Boys of Summer Shortstop, and that was inspiring to me, for you and your dad to take those trips together.
So we had the trip planned back then. We never took it, but we had it planned.
Yeah.
So this is our chance to actually take it.
Is it 5 ballparks in 6 days? Is that what you're doing?
Correct.
And I hope you'll give yourself grace to say, you know what? I'm here with you. You'll look at each other. Let that be everything. Because we had ideas about like, keeping track of the best food or
That's what we thought too.
Unique whatever. And those are fun. But again, remember my advice. Remember what you're there for. It's each other.
I'll tell you, Robert, what really has made all the difference, two things: family support, family and friend support, and engagement in support groups, rocksteady boxing groups. I have a family there. It's a connection that can't be broken.
There they are. They're here and you're here today. So don't forget. Connection is medicine. Let's go ahead and stop for a minute. Let's invite Jon and Jonathan and Christopher, I believe, right? Unmute yourself, please, and say hi to everybody. And if you guys have questions, you want to put them in the chat for Jon, Jonathan, or Christopher, please do. But let me just welcome you guys to the room first and foremost and ask you about the journey. What wasn't on there? Because you've sent me a whole 33-minute piece. Pretty awesome.
Bob, why don't you go ahead?
Well, I think it really connects, Robert, with your mantra. Connection is medicine, because that's precisely what we did on this trip. We were audacious. We went to ballparks and we asked people questions. I think at every ballpark we asked, "Is there a Parkinson's night at the ballpark?" And we didn't get, we got sort of evasive answers to it, but we planted the seed, I think, for them to think about having that as a night to honor people with Parkinson's and their supporters. We were also very transparent and open about who we were. We all had our hats, Parkinson's Rocksteady Boxing hats on. We asked questions of people, and it led us to connecting with people we would have never had an opportunity to be with. Jon?
I think too, yeah, that's great, Bob. I think too is we found that some of the highlights of the trip really occurred outside of the ballparks. So our mission was to see 5 parks in 6 days, which we accomplished, and we got to see a lot of family members along the way, and we got to do some things outside of the stadiums that really brought us together as a family and to the communities that we visited. So it was sort of like the unexpected highlights of the trip came that had nothing to do with baseball at all. And so that was a really fun part of the adventure.
Yeah. And Christopher, can I ask you what it was like and what your perspective as the third generation on that? You got a couple years on my son, but much of your guys' journey mirrored what my dad and my son and I have done. So I wonder about your perspective seeing all of this.
Yeah. So I was there for the game in Boston because I go to BU, so I was there during that time for their trip. And it was just wonderful to see my dad and my papa together doing this trip where they're just having the time of their lives, connecting with people, sharing their stories, especially with people in and outside of the ballparks. Because I obviously was a part of one of the games, but in making the video, I got to see everything like that they did. And I really realized that a lot of people, or a lot of the connection they made was outside of the park, whether it be at like the New York City Botanical Gardens or in the Dorchester Community Garden or, whatever it is, just sharing a story.
I love that. One of the metaphors my dad and I came up with was that baseball is a vehicle. And what it really speaks toward is what you're saying, that it took us to where we were going and all the stops along the way for us, people we met at support groups, campgrounds, the grocery store, a gas station randomly overnight, and to Jonathan's point that you guys had your hat there, and people, what's going on there? And boom, I mean, off you're going. And I wonder, did you guys ever get that from anybody else saying, oh, we either want to or we're planning to make that trip too? That type of thing. Did people come to you with that at all?
Uh, no, not that I recall anyway. No one had aspirations of the trip, but the Parkinson's angle certainly generated a lot of conversation and connection, Robert, which was great.
Yeah.
And those were some of the most memorable parts of the journey is making that connection and then having that conversation and feeling like you're in it with them, and you just the support deepens through those
Yeah.
conversations.
And
It's
Robert, I think I can predict that we're going to take some more trips.
Yeah, that's true. We talked about it, Robert. Maybe no one else did, but we talked about doing a second leg.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. It does become a little addictive, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think there was a lot of admiration for your
yeah,
trip from other people.
yeah, for sure. And I think too, the one like lesson for me was, Robert, you and your dad did the all out, end all be all, 30 parks in 2 months, like incredible journey. And I just hope people don't feel like they have to repeat that. We did 5 parks in 6 days. You could do 3 parks in 3 days or 2 parks in 3 days. And just the journey itself, I think, was worth every minute and a wonderful way to connect. So if anyone is thinking about it, don't feel like you got to do them all. You can do just a couple and still get a lot out of it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The scope in that sense doesn't matter. The time and how you spend it, and you see reflected in the first Boys of Summer. Yeah, it's all about all 30, but in Shortstop, the film you saw that inspired you. That first trip that we took, it was 2 ballparks over 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
but it was incredibly impactful. There was,
Yeah.
because what goes on along the way, what do you experience, and it didn't seem like it happened, and you don't have to share them if they did. But some of it is the harrowing things that go on too. It's not all great. The reality is it's not like the world parts the Red Seas and goes, "Oh, you're having an adventure. You can do anything you want." No, you have to manage. And I saw sometimes the looks on your guys' faces of being tired. And I know I tell the
Yeah.
story in Shortstop of my dad falling and getting medical attention at Dodger Stadium and, the fear of that. Were there any moments that were a little fearful or oh geez, have we gone too far or this is too much that you can share?
I have to admit, we were worried, and my dad will admit that he was worried about getting tired
Mhm.
during the trip. And we sort of had some built-in downtime to accommodate that. Um, but truth be told, it didn't happen. Like he was energized the whole time. He may have slept for 48 hours when we got home. He'd have to attest to that. But during the trip itself, I think he was really invigorated, which was really, really fun to see. He actually was. There was a day in New York where we were going all day. This was our off day, no game. We were going all day. We'd seen 2 of his granddaughters at their workplaces. We went to the 9/11 memorial, and I was ready to go home. And he's like, "Well, let's go to a park." I was like, "Okay." So we end up one more stop, and then we get home and rest for like half an hour, and then go out to dinner in Astoria, where we had never been to in Queens, and he just kept going. He kept going. It was great to see. It was really inspiring for me. So
18,000 steps that day.
yeah, yeah,
18,000 steps. Wow.
yeah.
So Jonathan, what was it like for you then being that motivated? I mean, is every day an 18,000 step day or was there a reason you were that motivated?
Oh, that was a special day because we went down to the site of the 9/11 memorial and walked around there. We did a lot of walking with 2 of my grandchildren who live in New York, and that's another delight for me to be with them. Um, I never lacked energy for that trip. Never.
Was part of that because of how special you knew it was? And for those who don't know, by the way, when your son was, I think around 10 or 11, if I'm getting the story
Yeah.
right, he pitched, a story of you guys going on a baseball trip, and You ended up not doing it at the time. One of the recollections I remember you saying was, "Geez, Dad, this trip's expensive."
Yeah.
And so now, many, many years later, Jonathan and Jon, you're recognizing we always meant to, but we never did. So this time really is special. Yeah.
It was a special convergence of opportunity.
Yeah.
Was at a time in his life when he could afford to give the time to planning, designing, and implementing the trip. It was I was of course available and pretty decent health. I was able to operate, walk, um, and do all the things that I'm able to do with Parkinson's. So
Yeah. It's very clear that's a big part of you taking advantage of what you have
Yeah.
while you have it. And Jon, yeah, do you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say we got real lucky with the timing, his schedule, my schedule, the baseball schedule, to have all those teams be playing home games in a way that worked out for us to hit them day after day. So really the stars aligned. We're just grateful that it all worked out. And four of my dad's grandkids were in the areas where we were, so we got to see them too. And couldn't have been better aligned.
So here's what I want to say about that, because people might hear that and go, oh, the stars were aligned. We were fortunate, this, that, and the other. It met your guys' force of will, right?
Mm.
That it didn't just happen. No one came to you with a letter and said, here's what you're going to do. Everything's aligned. So there, because people miss that part of it sometime, because we got a lot on our trip. How did you do this? Whether it was work schedule, the finances, that, and the other. And the truth was, there was for us, I mean, an awful lot of unknown because, of the length of the trip and this, that, and the other. But to some degree, the opportunities arise when you step into them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not until you step into them. You start
Yeah.
realizing, and this is part of the connection thing. Oh, I stepped here. How many have done rock climbing before? That's a big thing in Parkinson's now, by the way. Yeah. When you're rock climbing, you look at a sheer wall and you go, no way. But you put one hand up and maybe one foothold, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, maybe I can do that next one. And then you go, well, my foot could go over here. And before you know it, bit by bit, iteratively, you're 80 feet up on a wall. And so it is, right, with a trip like this too. Does that make sense, Jonathan?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we had to go for it.
Yeah.
And it all started with your story, Robert. I mean, that was the impetus. Is my dad saw that, he shared it with me, and I watched it, and we're like, you know what? It's time. Let's make it happen.
It's time. Let's make it happen. That's absolutely beautiful. Wendy, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot to ask you, why did you decide to show the film? And obviously they were there at the screening, or Jonathan was. What was that? Because it was a very special screening you did at the Avalon Theater. Is that correct in
Yeah.
Easton?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, I believe that connection is medicine as well, and that's a big part of my role at the Y is to make sure that everybody has a place to come and exercise, but let's have some fun outside of the gym as well. And Jonathan is not only the most amazing fighter in the gym, he's also, I kind of tease him and say he's like the room mom, right? He's organizing things for their community in Queen Anne's County. And so this opportunity to show Boys of Summer at our theater here in Easton, it's a historic theater, came about. I arranged for both the communities to come together, Easton and Queen Anne's County, and a couple people came up from Salisbury too, so we're scattered all over Maryland. But it was really, really neat to be in the theater, and we got popcorn and all the candy bars that you can think of, and Twizzlers. We took a vote as to what candy was required. But I was so glad that Jonathan and many others were inspired. Nobody has shared that they've taken these trips yet, but just inspired by the story of you and your dad, Robert, and now that I've seeing what you've done, Jon, and the short film that you put together for your story, I was so touched. And right away I said, Jonathan, can I share this with everybody? He goes, I don't want to sign autographs. It seems like a lot. I don't want to go there.
I got a busy life, man.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, let me thank you for that, Wendy. Let me just turn on this just to say, Jon and Jonathan, where are you at? We know, it's a point to say that you took some artistic liberties with the film in terms of using commercial elements that'll keep this from being a commercial project. However, as I said, as long as it's off of that radar, I think you're relatively safe. Is this something, if people want to see it, are you going to make it in any way available? Can we point people to it?
Well, absolutely. And let me just say, all credit to my son Christopher here for the work he did to actually create the video. So he's the one that pulled all the clips together and pictures and laid the music over it, and he produced every minute of it, start to finish. So we're grateful for that.
Universal Pictures. I mean, that was incredible. You got Universal to distribute.
I just thought that was funny and satirical.
He took a lot of liberties. I don't know that we expected this to like reach audiences beyond family and close friends, but
the intended audience was definitely family and friends.
But we are more than happy to share it with anyone who wants to see it. Pop, I don't know if you have any concerns, but happy to
I would be astonished if anyone was that interested, but
well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say this is a very, very good example that if you need technology, turn to your grandchildren.
Yes. Here's an idea, it just came to me. Maybe, and we'll talk about this offline, maybe if you want, I can put it on the Boys of Summer website and say, that this is I don't know what we call it, a fan fiction film, not a fan fiction film, but a fan film, as it were, right? It's a fan-inspired film, that type of thing. And so it lives on the Boys of Summer website. Does that, you don't have to answer yay or nay, but does that sound like a possibility?
Absolutely. Fine by me. It's as long as you indicate it was fully inspired by your film.
Aww.
You're very kind. All right, we'll keep talking.
And I'm going to push it out in our newsletter, Jonathan, just so you know. It's coming out in the newsletter.
All right. Well, I think we're coming to something good. Karen, yes, dear.
What a wonderful, beautiful yes, and I was privileged enough to see the whole more than a half an hour, and you did a great job putting it together. Got to say, it's just I got goosebumps. Yes, let's make that happen. Put it on the website and keep this connection is medicine growing and growing.
The family grows, right?
Yeah, exactly. Grows. I mean, this is just I really enjoyed the videos that you made with Robert a while ago and was hoping to see, what happened there. And the timing of that happening with this is just, all the stars aligned.
Wonderful.
The universe is on our side this way.
That's beautiful stuff. Watching the time here, I'm gonna pivot. Thank you so much. And so if everybody's interested more in Jon and Jonathan's story, keep watching bosmovie.com. We'll have something there soon. That's awesome. Now, just a little more about the beard, because it's part of the reason we're doing this silly thing. So let me give you a little more info on that in case if you haven't decided what look you're going for. The background on this thing, I started about a year ago. I've never had a big beard at all. And, it was kind of a silly thing. People were talking about it. I was like, oh, let's just let it go and make up stories about it. As it turns out, my wife and I are about to celebrate 20 years, and she's really giving me a deadline. She says that needs to go or I'm going. So September 7 is coming up. So here's the deal. We're going to have a very special screening of the latest Boys of Summer. That is Third Base. Almost nobody has seen this because it had its world premiere at the World Parkinson's Congress. And we'll watch a trailer for that here at the end. But next Saturday, mark your calendar. If you want to come and see that, Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific here online, just like we're doing now, we're going to screen that fourth film, Third Base. And it's a unique opportunity because I really want to do it in person. The film screams it needs to be in person, and it's an interactive film. God bless Tim Curry, who just passed away, Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror. It's got Rocky Horror-like energy that when the people watch it and what happened in that audience, they danced, they sing, they did everything but throw toast. So that's why I'm very reticent to put it online, but at the same time realize I want to stay married. So we're going to do it this way. There's been no purpose until now, and maybe to help kind of give you part of the purpose, let's go ahead and give you one of my favorites, David Letterman, who also has a beard like this. He gave me the inspiration for one of my favorite things, a top 10. Let's take a look. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In my hand from the home office of Dyersville, Iowa, I hold tonight's top 10 list. Let's get to it. The top 10 signs your beard has gotten out of control. Number 10, you begin finding secrets in the hair. Yeah, that's not good. Number 9, small children are handing you their Christmas lists. Number 8, your wife asks whether you lost a bet, and when you say no, she looks disappointed because that would at least explain it. Number 7, you order soup and the waiter automatically brings you a straw. That's not right. No. Number 6, ZZ Top won't stop texting. Well, that makes sense. Number 5, your daughter gives you a pony beard, right? Not a ponytail, but yeah. Number 4, your facial hair now requires more maintenance than your nonprofit. Number 3, people stop saying nice beard and start saying, hey, what's going on? Number 2, people start telling you, hey, you look like David Letterman. Hello. Hi there. Yee. And the number 1 sign your beard has gotten out of control, you launch a national fundraiser just to figure out how the hell to get rid of it. How? There you go. That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah, that's right. So there's your top 10 list. That's a fun way of getting people further involved into what we're doing. And really, here's the looks. These are the proposed teams we have right now. So this is basically things that you can vote for. And if you want to come to the screening next week, all we ask is just donate any amount to any team you want. And you see the QR code, you can vote right now. It's also on our website. You can do that. Pick your team, choose who you want to vote for, and every dollar you donate goes toward a cinema therapy scholarship, because cinema therapy is a wonderful program and it's immersive. It's a 16-week college-style program. That means there's a tuition, and that's difficult for some people. So that's what this money, all the donations is going towards, so we can get students who are interested but can't afford the class. So we hope you'll consider doing that. You get to see a great movie, and we get to fund students to come and see the cinema therapy, be part of the cinema therapy program. Now, I do have a few representatives here today from these teams. If you are here, Team Whaler, is Team Whaler here? I think that might be Amy. So as I present these looks, if you have a look that you want to defend, go ahead and do so.
That's Amy.
That's Amy. In honor of Amy, I'll just say she wants me to keep the darn thing. So that's Team Whaler, okay? And Team Mustache, that's Nicole. She wanted me to pass along, if you're a fan of Ted Lasso, you should probably vote for the mustache, okay? So there you go. That's hers. The chin curtain. I don't know if anyone's even taken up for this. We haven't been able to revive any of the Lincoln family, but it certainly goes along that line. I'm going to show up next week to the screening looking like one of these looks, just so you know. So you really do hold my face in your hands, just okay. The goatee. I believe that, Sharon, are you team goatee? Sharon, take up for the goatee if you would.
Oh, that goatee is in style for any age. Everybody's got a goatee. I mean, even teenagers are trying to grow these goatees. So
I understand there's some women growing.
Got to keep that goatee.
Well, absolutely, yeah. So Team Goatee, it's there. It's it's very hip. It's very now. It was very 90s, but it's come back around. Absolutely. Thanks, Sharon. Team Mutton Chops. Oh yeah, Karen, you've got a real one here for me. Talking about Team Mutton Chops, please.
Team Mutton Chops. Well, it's not my favorite look. Your buddy Paul Inman said, "Hey, you got to do it." I've never done it, but yeah, I'm going to vote for that. So yeah, I teamed up with him because that's your Stephen King buddies, and I'm here. I think he was going to try to be here today. He's not, but yeah, I'm teaming up with him to represent that crew.
You got a very strong reaction from Wendy. She just sent a bunch of crying faces across the screen when she saw Team Mutton Chops. By the way, this is somewhat like World Wrestling, the WWE. You got to have a great heel to make the hero look great. Hey, if you don't want this to happen, you better vote for something else, okay? The stubble. Now, this one is known as Team Anna Maria, and Susan is fronting that. Anna Maria is my wife. Susan, would you like to say anything about Team Stubble?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to quote Jonathan in his use of the word audacious. I love this whole contest. I love this whole approach to doing what you're doing. And this is probably the least audacious look, except being clean shaven, and that's not going to happen. We know that. To me, again, as the family with John and Jonathan and we're saying, and Christopher, they liked that they experienced highlights their trip outside the ballpark. And to me, this is sort of this sweet spot between normal 3-day beard for a guy.
I love that you use the word normal. And that stubble
That's how I
represents
feel.
a sweet spot.
It's an audacious thing to say, Robert, but it's how I feel.
I love that you did, and thank you so much for it, Susan. The clean shave. Now, she's not here today, but that's Venetia. She's team clean. And interestingly, we'll look at the leaderboard here in a minute, that I believe clean shave and stubble are leading, and it's pretty close, as a matter of fact. So, that's where the leaderboard is right now. And then there's this, something else. I mean, if you want to take a minute and just make something up, I'm at your whim. Depending on how much you vote, if that gets the most votes, that's what I show up with next week. So, as it says, Lord help me. Any questions or comments on any of the looks before we go forward, knowing that, the voting chamber's open? Wendy, please.
Okay, I'm just wondering, tossing out, keep the beard, lose all this. Is that an option?
Oh,
Wow.
shaving the head. I mean, if you really don't want me to last until, it'll be 19 years and 354 days. But if you vote enough, I can only go to my wife and say, look, honey, I'm not the decider. The votes say. And the one thing, she's a true Italian. She won't argue with money. So if the money says, I'm not telling you to do that because I really don't want to do that, but I'm also not going to argue with money. So, hey,
Oh my goodness.
if Jerry Lewis can sweat for every dollar, I can shave for every dollar, right? Right? We can do this. Okay. Great question, Wendy. Thank you. And again, this is me being completely open that, when I put forward the Etch-a-Sketch face like this, you do get to choose. So, all right. Anybody else, questions or comments before we move forward? Thank you for playing. Thank you for laughing and being part of this, because that's really important. When we talk about Parkinson's, none of us are Parkinson's. Whether we're living with it or it's part of our lives, we're more than Parkinson's. And part of it is we're a community that laughs, we're a community that loves, we're a community that plays, and we want to share that with each other, because one of my least favorite stories of Parkinson's is the pitiful one, is the poor you one. That one is so damaging. And that's what we're trying to get past. We want people first, and that's what we're playing with. So thank you all. And by the way, when we say what you're voting for, you see these covers right here of potential, we have plays, we have a film, and then I think we have a couple of novellas and novels here. This is cinema therapy in works. Parkinson's disease, here's the story we know. Fastest growing neurological disease in the world. One of the challenges in finding a cure is false and damaging stories. Like, how many of you heard this one? It's just tremors. That doesn't help us, right? In fact, that makes people think less. You don't look like you have Parkinson's. Again, that type of storytelling that people would minimize what's going on for the person with it is extraordinarily damaging, because what's under the surface there, you know what? It's not that bad. And if people live that and they don't give a crap about what's really going on, the pain, the frustration, the difficulty of this, they're not going to open their wallets and their hearts to us. And we need them to do that. These stories that we create in our unique cinema therapy program, They do that. They open people's minds and hearts to the reality of Parkinson's in ways they haven't seen it before. And the old line goes, if you don't like the story, change it. Let me give you a couple of versions of how people are doing exactly that. One is this story, Harmony Rising. When a boy disappears into a forest, a mother with Parkinson's joins humans, dragons, and a talking dog on a rescue that transforms what belonging means. Does that sound like Parkinson's? Right? Oh, wait, you mean someone with Parkinson's could be in a fantasy adventure? Yeah, why not? Right? How about the language of quiet things? A wildlife photographer confronting aging and his wife's Parkinson's takes one last trip into the mountains. He nearly dies before discovering that adapting to change requires learning an entirely new way to see. Again, the care partner's perspective told through creative fiction. These are not stories that have happened. They are fictional to show a larger truth about the experience of Parkinson's. How about Confidence Interval? It follows a widowed statistician with Parkinson's who has measured his life into isolation. He must discover that uncertainty, connection, and showing up for others make life worth living. We know that isolation is a killer with Parkinson's. Here's a creative way of showing that. And then Exposure. Exposure as shows a photographer developing Parkinson's inside of herself. She investigates the hidden toxic legacy beneath her hometown and family. She fights to trust her body and what she sees, battling for prevention, accountability, and the truth. How many people have either in their lives or have heard about Parkinson's being a multi-generational type of illness? Yeah, it's not one time. We know that the toxic chemicals are out there. We know there's great writing from Ending Parkinson's Disease, and we're the second state in the union to have a ban on paraquat. We're proud of that out here in California, but there's so much more to do. And if we can get people creatively involved, they can understand at an Aaron Brockovich-like level why we need to address these chemicals, okay? And we can do that with great storytelling. And every one of these writers, several of whom are here today, and several others whose story you're not hearing at the moment, but are out there, they're part of this. They're here to share this with you. Cinema therapy matters because Parkinson's is more than symptoms. Parkinson's is more than symptoms. Stories make the invisible human experience visible, helping people recognize themselves, understand one another, and discover that connection is medicine. We are hardwired for storytelling, and that's why this is the pathway in. Okay, we want to tell people they can't get enough stories. We need them, we crave them, we live for them. So let's give them stories that they already love and then happen to have something to do with Parkinson's. They learn something along the way. All right. Questions or comments on any of that regarding cinema therapy or what you're voting for? Okay. Well, then let me finish with this right here because I mentioned Boys of Summer third base. And here's the deal. Once again, if you donate, you're in. I'll send you a link and you'll be there with us next Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific. You can vote until 4 p.m. Pacific because I need time to shave. So 4 p.m. Pacific on Saturday is the closing for that. And I'll show up with the winning beard style. Now, as to what you're going to see, let's take a look at the trailer, which includes footage of the screening from the World Parkinson Congress in May of 2026.
This is so much more than a movie about Parkinson's.
And then all of a sudden, what happened?
I came for the good time. Ain't worried about.
It's an experience you have to be a part of to believe.
It's got it all. It's got the highs. It's got the lows.
I'd like to see a cure for Parkinson's. I don't think that's going to happen.
It's got everything in between.
It's the hero's journey.
The Parkinson's community needs this.
It's the hero's journey. Yeah!
That is third base, all right. And that is what we're going to screen next week. Again, it's the fourth film in the Boys of Summer series. It is the most unique of the four. It is highly interactive and a lot of fun. Literally singing, dancing, yelling at the screen is absolutely encouraged. Karen's got one of the baseball beach balls, which, yeah, that's part of it too. We
Yes, I walked
want
away with
this.
one.
Yeah, walked away. Yeah. It was a 5-finger discount.
Yeah, well, I blew up all the other ones, so yeah.
Oh, it was an earned 5-finger discount.
Yes, it was.
The idea is we want you there because, once again, this is part of expanding the family. We are family, and this is how we get better together. We need each other in the highs and the lows and the everything in between, in the living the happiest times, in the living the most challenging times, into dreaming together, into being heartbroken together. This is all of what we have for each other. And especially when we feel like we have nothing, that's the time to partner up with somebody else who also feels like they have nothing. And together, it turns out you have everything because you have each other. So that's who we are. And that's what we mean by connection is medicine. So let me open up here. We have a few minutes left to any comments, questions, thoughts, anything you have about anything you've seen today, because I want to make sure A, it's clear, and B, you're ready to have fun with it. Susan?
Well, I'd like the Chase family to factor in to their decision that they may influence others who see their film just as they were influenced by Robert's. So it doesn't stop by putting it up on the BOS website.
Yeah. The downstream effect of their film, who's going to see this because of you who would have never seen Boys of Summer. But again, that is and they told 3 friends, and they told 3 friends, and so on, and so on. Yeah, thank you for that, Susan. I appreciate it. Anybody else, anything you saw, noticed, or feel based on anything in the presentation today? Oh, I see love from John. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Very good. Well, yes, Karen, please.
Just thank you all for coming. This has been great. And again, thank you, Jonathan and Jon and grandson did such a wonderful job on that. It's just, I can't get over just like the way you guys said it. The stars aligned, so could all happen right now. And I'm just really happy as always to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
happens. It happens because Jonathan is who Wendy says he is, and says today's the day. And that's similar to what Susan said. This person does this, that person does that, and all of a sudden this happens. And those unexpected connections, those unexpected outcomes. We don't know what we're in for, and that's where hopefully my encouragement, why we're called Yes and X, is for you guys to continue to say yes and to the unknown. Accept, take agency, step into the world, and be ready for it. And by the way, do it with your family, who's all around you right here. Because you know what? I mean, this is a room of people that's going to get each other. This is a room of people that's going to love each other. And we're going to be here for the whole thing. Okay? That means everything. All right, everybody. Well, thank you again so much for being here. I hope to see you next Saturday.
Yes.
Please make your votes. You know where to do that on the website, yesandx.org. Right there in the top column, it says Beard of Summer. Does anyone not know where to go? You know where to go to make your votes? We good? Okay. Make your votes. Tell other people to make their vote. Say, hey, look, I really need this team to win. I need Robert to be bald with a beard because he said I could. I'm very scared for what Wendy might be able to organize.
Yeah, that's way scarier than the mutton chops. Come on.
That is scary. I'm not even going to bring it up to my wife. I don't want her to start to worry. BJ, yes, my friend.
Yeah, can we rename the mutton chops pork chops?
If you want, I mean,
we both know you and I can be such hams.
Oh,
BJ! Come on.
Big brother. Yeah, right there.
I can't believe we almost made it an hour without getting that. Cecil the Diesel in the house.
Yeah, well, hey, if the whaler would have been called the Wizard, that I would have been all behind that. But yeah, it's just I let Amy take that one.
talk to your team leaders. I'm sure they may be open. Pork chop, mutton chop, wizard. It's all. I don't know. What would you call your team, Wendy? Yeah. What would you? Ooh, might be nice. Team. Ooh. That's great. Say yes and everybody, please, to your thoughts, to your dreams, to your laughter, to each other. Please say yes and know that there's more for all of us by doing that. We are all more than we believe when we connect to others. And once again, that's why connection is medicine. All right?
All right.
With that,
Okay.
take
Thank
care,
you,
everybody.
Robert. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week.